It's so good to score runs in the first inning. It's the 12th time we scored that many runs in 71 games, which is 17% of the time. It is Monday, June 15th, 2026. We are in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the Great American Ballpark. About to play a 3-game series versus the Cincinnati Red Machine. I am the Mets head, talking all things New York Mets, with a preview of Game 72 versus Cincinnati. If you enjoy my content, I ask that you please like and subscribe to the Mets head on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. The traveling Dingleberries and I traveled to Cincinnati back in 2009. It was the 27th stadium we visited. We also went to Detroit after hanging out in Chicago and Broad Ripple in Indianapolis. Peralta was on the mound for the Mets after giving up 6 runs in his last start in 6 innings on 6 hits and 2 walks. 3 of his last 4 starts have not been very good, and his ERA has been steadily rising since the beginning of May. He gave a leadoff hit to Michael Harris, followed by 2 more singles to load the bases, struck out Ozzie Albies, and they gave up a sacrifice fly, limiting the damage only to 1-0. We started the bottom of the first with Benj walking, followed by a Bichette single, and Soto comes up. First and second, no outs. One of the best hitters of this generation, who is 3 for 7 against Elder. That's a .429 average with a home run. With an over 1,400 OPS, he decides to bunt on the first 2 pitches, and Benz gets thrown out at third for the first out, putting Soto at first and Bichette at second. What was he thinking? Thank goodness Jared Young was swinging, and he singled to knock in Bichette. And then Benj gets a double down the left field line, bringing in Soto, and Yastrzemski on the throw hits the pole that holds up the netting, allowing Jared Young to score. I'd never seen that before. Semien then struck out, and the 7th train, Brett Beatty, gets a single to knock Ewing in, putting us up 4-1 in the first inning. Peralta then settled in after retiring the last 3 batters in the first. He then retired the next 11 batters in a row before giving up a single and a walk in the 5th. A.J. Ewing led off the bottom of the 5th with a home run to right field, followed by a home run by Marcus Semien, putting us up by 5 with a score of 6-1. I kind of like the Spider-Man celebration. I believe Peter Parker is from Queens, and he is a Mets fan. They do need to get a different color mask, though. Baby blue Spider-Man. Get it in Mets colors. But I also like the construction worker helmet. But this team doesn't seem to be consistent with anything. And then in the 6th, with Matt Olson leading off the inning and Dominic Smith batting 3rd in the inning, Peralta was pulled for the left-hand pitcher, Cionel Perez. He ended up pitching 5 innings, giving up 1 run on 4 hits and 1 walk with 2 strikeouts. It's kind of low for him. On 90 pitches, lowering his ERA to 3.90. Cionel Perez, who had Olsen to fly out and Albies to ground out to second. Then a ground ball by Dom Smith to Semien, who threw it wide to put Smith on first. Perez threw a wild pitch, putting Smith on second. He then walked Riley, and the Braves pinch hit for the left-hand hitting White for Tellez, who is a unit. The Mets countered by bringing in Duarte, who threw a wild pitch to make it second and third, but he got Tellez to line out to end the inning without giving up any runs. Perez ended up pitching 2/3, giving up no hits and a walk and a wild pitch. Duarte then walked Yastrzemski to lead off the seventh, and then got Harris to ground into a double play to end the inning. Duarte would be left in to pitch one out in the eighth, and with Olsen coming up again, A.J. Minter was brought in to pitch to him, who struck out Olsen and got Albies to ground out to end the eighth. We were not quite done, with Benj leading off the bottom of the eighth with a single, and Bichette, it's a slow roller to Albies, who shovels it wide to first base, putting runners on second and third for Juan Soto. While we're up by 5 runs, this is when I expect him to get hits. And get a hit he did, with a single knocking in Benj and Bichette to put us up 8-1. Brazaman then came in to pitch the ninth and retired the side in order to beat the Braves 2 out of 3. Wow, that was unexpected. 5 Mets had either 2 hits or more, with Benj, Bichette, Soto, and Beatty each with 2 hits. And A.J. Ewing went 3 for 5, 2 runs and 2 ribbies, raising his average to 267. The bullpen pitched great again, pitching 4 innings, giving up no runs and no hits, with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. I don't know if Perez and Duarte are going to stay up, because Stern seems to have a revolving door of pitchers moving around. I do think that Tobias Myers should be brought up to at least start the game. I don't really know if you need Perez, seeing that you have Minter and Raley and Peterson all in the bullpen. You don't really need a 4th reliever. You don't really need a 3rd short reliever and a 4th left-hand reliever overall. But I mean, he's come in handy a few times. But I want to see Tobias Myers starting the game. We are now 32 and 39. 7 games under 500. Last place in the NL East. 14 games behind the league-leading Atlanta Braves. We're tied to the 22nd best record, which is also the 7th worst record in the league. The Reds are 33 and 37, 4 games under 500. They are last in the NL Central, 10.5 games behind Milwaukee. Tied for the 19th best record in the majors. They were doing much better the last time we played them. But Ellie De La Cruz has gotten hurt, and I hear they took a downfall since then. On the mound for the Mets, most likely doing the heavy lifting, is David Peterson. But it really should be Tobias Myers. David Peterson is a 30-year-old left-hand pitcher from Denver, Colorado. He is 6'6", 240 pounds. Drafted by the Mets with the 20th pick in 2017. Royce Lewis, who would later win Rookie of the Year, was selected 1st overall. Mackenzie Gore was 3rd. Helio Ramos, 19th. Brendan Rooker, 35th. MJ Melendez was 52nd. And Swaggy V, Mark Vientos, was picked 59th overall by us. This is Peterson's 7th year. He had pitched 131 games. He's 37 and 30 with a 4.12 ERA. 614 strikeouts in 622 innings. Last year, he pitched in 30 games. He was 9-6 with a 4.22 ERA, 150 strikeouts in 168 innings with 65 walks. This year, he has not pitched well. He's pitched in 14 games. He is 3-5 with a 5.75 ERA, 57 strikeouts in 61 innings with 26 walks. And this year, as a starter, he has a 7.56 ERA. And as a reliever, he has a 3.58 ERA, which recently went up when he got roughed up last outing. He last pitched against Cincinnati on May 26th and got the loss after pitching 5 innings and giving up 6 runs on 11 hits and 3 walks with 4 strikeouts. The Reds are batting .333 against him with an .864 OPS, 26 hits and 78 at-bats. Stevenson is batting .455 against them, 5 for 11. And McLean is 3 for 7 against him, which is a .429 average. Not only do I not think Peterson should be the bulk pitcher on this, I think they should try to avoid him completely. It would be a much better idea to bring up Tobias Myers, who, since he's been brought down, he's pitched 3 innings and has not given up a run. He gave up 1 hit and 1 walk, and he has 4 strikeouts. Plus, against the Reds, who are batting .176 against him with a .428 OPS. Only Suarez, Dunn, and Stevenson have hits against him. He last pitched against Cincinnati on May 25th. He pitched 2 innings, gave up 1 run on 2 hits without a walk, and 3 strikeouts. They really need to bring this guy back up. He has been a decent starter in the major leagues and really should be starting on this team instead of rolling the dice on pitchers haven't been pitching well. On the mound for the Reds is 23-year-old right-hand pitcher Chase Burns. Born in Naples, Italy, to American parents that were in the military, he is 6'3", 210 pounds. Drafted with the 2nd pick overall by Cincinnati in 2024. Travis Bazzana was selected 1st overall by the Indians. Nick Kurtz went number 4. Jack Caglione was 6th. J.J. Weatherholt was number 7. And Connor Griffin was selected 9th overall. We took Carson Bench 19th overall. This is Burns' 2nd year. He has pitched 26 games. He is 7-4 with a 3.03 ERA. 155 strikeouts in 119 innings with 39 walks. Last year, he pitched in 13 games. He was 0-3 with a 4.57 ERA. 67 strikeouts in 43 innings with 16 walks. This year, he's been great. He's pitched in 13 games. He is 7-1 with a 2.14 ERA. 88 strikeouts in 75 innings with 23 walks. He last pitched against us on May 26th and got the win. After pitching 5 1/3, giving up 2 runs on 4 hits and 2 walks with 8 strikeouts. The current roster of Mets is batting .200 with a .673 OPS against him. My suggested lineup for the Mets would lead off A.J. Ewing, but it's not terrible to also lead off Benj. Ewing is batting 300 this week with a 933 OPS, compared to Benj, who has gone downhill 182 with 462 OPS this week. But strategically, it might be better to lead off Benj. Bichette to bat second, batting 292 this week. The 988 OPS. He's also 1 for 3 against Burns. Soto third, who is also 1 for 3 against Burns with a homer. He's batting 450 this week with a 1400 OPS. Jared Young has severely cooled off. He's batting 190 this week with a 571 OPS. Out of our regular 9 at this moment, 4 of them are batting under 200 this week. I would say it'd be good to have Polanco back to fill in the middle, but Polanco is due to come back in a few weeks, I think. 2 to 3 weeks. That would be good, giving us more options for hitters in the middle of our lineup. So if Young's batting 4th, then Ewing should bat 5th. Ewing or Benj, 1 for 3 against Burns, Ewing. Semien should bat 6th, even though he's batting 136 this week. He is only 0 for 2 against Burns, but he has hits against the next 2 pitchers, so I think he's just keep him batting 6th in this game. The only other option I would say would be Alvarez, but I don't think Alvarez should start in this game. Brett Baty should bat 7th, 0 for 1 with a walk against Burns, batting 188 this week. To bat Melendez 8th, I would like Melendez to play in left field to keep Soto from getting injured. Batting 231 this week, he's one of our brighter spots. And then I think Luis Torrens should get the start behind the plate because he is 1 for 2 with a double against Burns. Tomorrow, I think that Torrens should sit because he's 0 for 5 against Singer. But then I think when you face the lefty on Wednesday, you should probably have them both on the lineup. I am so happy to hear that Tobias Myers has been brought back up to start this game tonight. The current Reds roster is only batting 176 against him with a 428 OPS, compared to their average against Peterson being 333 with an 864 OPS. I hope they use Peterson strategically to avoid getting rocked, but I say leave Myers in as long as he can go. We do have a chance to pass these Reds in the standing. The Reds are 2 for 8 in the past 10 games. Well, we are 6 and 4, so let's go, Mets go. Until next time, I'm one gone.